On this point on this side, I always start off by putting pylon here. It doesn't really matter, it's just a start. And then I usually always leave it there. Which also heals a little bit from here, so it's pretty good, and they don't say that one. So I like to keep it there. And my favorite spot, even for after you kept the point, is to put it here. I find this to be very nice and safe. But if you're still brawling around, you can also put pylon here, which it can be good. You just have to look out for it, because if a tracer goes like that way or other way, it's kind of exposed. If you want to poke from the top, you can put pylon there. Just be careful of somebody coming up there, because they will see it. You could also leave it here like this, but it's pretty good, but I don't really enjoy to just leave it in the open too much. I just prefer to leave it always here, to be honest. And that if that one is getting pushed a lot, you could also move it here, as long as nobody's like pushing this way too. And if you want to play on the top side, I usually leave it here. That one is not too bad, as long as you know you're safe and nobody's like rushing you, because if a Winston jumps, I would suggest to just remove it immediately. But if you go in the back, I usually let it there. I don't really like going here because it's a bit cornered. It's easy to just get rushed. So if you do, you just put it there. I mean, if you come from this way, you can just leave pylon there. That's probably the safest one if you're like not pushing very hard in and just poking. And if you play inside this room, you could put pylon on top. I don't really like putting pylon inside here, just because I'm used to people just rushing in. So you could leave it there as long as nobody really gets to you. And if they do, you can just move it back, maybe put it here. But it would best to just play around this side on point. Another nice pylon would be to put it there too. That one is pretty solid, to be honest. And if you're stuck around here, you can put pylon here like this. I like to put it here like this because if somebody comes from that side, they don't see it. Same for this side. Or you could also put it like that, which is not too bad. It doesn't have that huge of a healing range though, so you have to be careful. But otherwise, you could also put it like that. This one has a bigger one, but yeah. On this point at the start, I like to just leave pylon here. It's pretty solid and nobody really pushes in this far at the start. And once you push in further, you can leave pylon there. Just make sure it doesn't poke too much from this side, because otherwise they can shoot through this. And then you can also put it inside here. This one is very nice. I like this one. If you want to come from this way and you're sure that nobody comes from that way or up there, you can leave pylon there. I will discourage putting pylon on the pillar. It can be good sometimes, as long as you're the one pushing further. And if you're stuck playing here, I like to put pylon there instead of like putting it here. Just because somebody comes on that side, they will see it. So I just like to leave it there. If you're able to push in further, I like to leave pylon here. This one is only good if nobody's playing on top there, so be careful of that. Same if you want to put it here, which can be good. It's not too bad, but if somebody's playing here, they will see it. Like, they can just jump and destroy it, even though it's a bit hard to shoot even if you're far away. And for when you're playing on the point, I like to put my pylon down there. It doesn't have a huge healing range, but it's very safe, so I like to keep it there. And if you're playing on point and rolling it out, I like to just leave my pylon here. I think that's the safest one. I can't really find another better spot than this one. You could also put it behind these things, but they kind of go up and down, so just be careful of that. I will discourage putting pylon inside here. It can work as long as you're sure that nobody will come from that way and destroy it. So it could work depending on the situation. And on this side, once you push in further and you have the point and everything, you can leave pylon here if you play up here like this. Or you can leave it like this. Just be careful somebody coming from that way. If you know somebody's coming from that way, just move it away. And for when you get pushed in further, I like to leave my pylon down there. I think it's pretty good for when you're like rotating or just playing around here. People from that side cannot see it, only if they come up there. So it's nice. And for this side again, you could put it up here if you're playing like around here. That one's not too bad, and the enemy tank really needs to push in hard. for that. So that can work. And on this point, if you come from this way, I like at the start to leave my pylon there. And for when you push in further, you can leave pylon here. This one is nice because you can body block it. But you could also put it here, which is probably nicer, but if somebody comes from this way, they will destroy it. And once you have the point contested, you can just leave pylon there. It's not like the most covered, but it's solid. I don't think it's too bad. You could also put pylon here for when you're still fighting. I still rather just leave it in the back if anything, just because if that was soldering or any AoE damage coming by, this one is very exposed for that. So you could get destroyed. Depends on the enemy comp. And instead, if you come from this side, you can leave pylon on top here on this rock, and then you can move it here, like this. And if you come from this way, you can leave pylon here. You could also body block it if tracer's like coming by and rushing you. On this side, you put pylon here like this. If somebody comes from that way, they don't instantly see it, so you have time to like move it, or even you can just fight them off and body block the pylon. And then once you can move up, I like to leave it here. I think that one is pretty nice. It doesn't really get destroyed much. And if you play around here, you can put pylon up there like that. Just make sure it's like vertical, because otherwise the enemy will see it from this way. You just have to angle it very nicely. Like that. You could also put pylon inside here, which will be more safe and easier to just angle. It just doesn't have like a huge healing range, so careful. And for when you play on the point, you can still use these spots. They're pretty nice and solid, even on this side. Because even if somebody's playing up here, they don't see that one. Just be careful of the healing range, because it's not too huge. You need to play like around it. And if you're getting pushed from up here, I like to just leave my pylon down here like this. Same for that side. It's like if you're stuck playing here, you can put pylon there. Same for this side, you can put it there like that. If you come from this way instead, you can put it up there. And once you can push in further, you can leave pylon here. And if you can be even more exposed, you can just leave it there. And instead, if you can push from here, you can just leave pylon here. Same for this side.